Good evening, guys. This is Lebanon coming to you with another video. We're going to be doing this video as I think we're on part three of our total battle strategy guide. So it's going to mainly be over G1, and basically we're getting close to transitioning to G2. Now, granted, there are some things that I would like to be doing, but I have to wait for the correct event to come up. So that's part of the reason why it's been a few days since I've done anything on this account. Like, I actually let it sit and probably wasted a good bit of chests that I could have been getting and everything. But it was just like, since I can't really do anything on it because I'm waiting for a certain event in order to really make a move, in order to make the strategy guide fluid. Yeah, just it is what it is. This account and the videos are going to be basically dependent upon when the events come up. So as an event comes up, it might be to where there's more strategy guide videos. And if there's no events that I really need in order to progress this thing, then it's going to be to where I basically just let it sit. So that's just the nature of it. I mean, this is a account that is purely for trying to help you guys out in order to be able to understand the different levels of it. So we're still at G1, but this video is going to be like there's a few things that behind the scenes before you really go for the next level that we can go through and knock out. And so I'm going to try and work on them as best I can with you and show you what you should be doing in order to set yourself up for the next stage of it. Okay, so part of this, and we're going to be reviewing this on it. We're going to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. All right, now you guys can see everything pretty well. So, like I said, a few days have gone by. Rise of the Ancients came and went and everything, and now they have Hellforge that is going up. So, for those of you that don't know what these different events are, like Hellforge is this one where you got this huge guy with this giant anvil and everything, and is if you attack him, then you're going to be getting basically points in order to go towards armor. Now, this is an absolutely great thing if you don't have really any armor. So, like for me, I don't have any armor right now, so this wouldn't be a bad idea. And as you can see, the amount of pieces that you're going to be getting, or the amount of coins, is going to be actually rather low, and you're not really going to be able to buy very much. So, like, I can buy different things, but it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, the level is awesome. Like, I can go through and I could get some stuff, but it's not really that big of a difference. So, if I'm going to play it, maybe I'll play it, who knows. But I also have to choose precisely when to use my resources because when you're so brand new in the game, you don't want to attack everything. You want to attack only the things that are really going to make a difference. So for like right now, I know that I can gonna be knocking out some of these missions that are currently in front of me, like earn 200 Hellforge points. That's easy enough. Go through and do like revive 50 troops from the temple, all this other kind of thing. But the problem is that I also have like where I don't have that many potions to revive. I don't have that many mercs in order to be able to use. So I'm not really going to be able to get a whole lot of points. And it's like, do I use them now or do I use them later? So for right now, what we're probably going to do is I'll do a little bit, but I'm not going to do a huge amount. The one that I'm really looking forward to that's going to make me move up and rather quickly. So for those of you that are like, well, how do you go fast and everything if you're, here? It's Arachne. Arachne is the best pound for pound event that you could possibly get. Best bang for your buck. Like, you spend some money on this and everything, you're going to go up and rather quickly. Now, granted, I could go through and grind it on out where I'm sending out my different captains and they're going to fight different people on out in the world map or whatever. Like, I could just go through and be like, oh, let's see. Oh, here's a monster right here, level 6 I can fight. I can fight the level 12, and I'm going to get a little bit of VP and everything. But it's exhausting, and it takes you way too dang long. Plus, you use a whole lot of speed ups, and either that or it's just going to eat a huge amount of time of your time. So, like, yes, these different monsters have a place and time for all that. But like this guy that's currently walking, slow as all heck, that's to be expected in this game. When you're first starting out, you're going to be having it to where it's just like, man, I wish I could actually move at a little bit faster of a speed. So it's like I can do that. I can spend hours and hours going through and slowly like getting different resources from different areas. Like, hey, I could be hitting a crypto level 5. I can be doing like, where's there a mine or something? Hold on. Or a quarry, sawmill, anything. Let's see. I'm looking around in order to try to find it. And for a lot of people that don't have Watchtower and everything, they're basically sitting here and they're like, well, where's this? Where's that? And you just got to like look around seriously. But if you do have Watchtower, which I do, and I can activate it, let's do this for an entire week so I don't have to go through and sit here like an idiot. All right. Now with Watchtower up and everything, we initially got it as part of like the whole entire startup, but I also bought a few different packages with this inside of it and everything. So we're gonna look at like different mines or quarry mine. We have sawmills, different things that we can look at. You can be going through and like be I passed right over and didn't even see it. What an idiot. But anyways, I could go through and send my troops on over here, and this thing has what 2 million in resources. I mean, that's a really good stone, aspect. But I bought a package in order, or a few packages of basically building resources in order to make it to where I don't have to sit here like an idiot and basically go through and do this. Like I will be doing this later on and everything when I actually have more time on my hands in order to be able to concentrate on this, but I'm going to be very, very selective as to when exactly I do this. Now, for you guys, I advised you before in the previous video, hit these up. Have it to where, like, because you're going to be mining and gathering so darn slow, send them right before you fall asleep. Have it to where, like, hey, I'm at work and I'm about to start and everything. Quickly go through and start these up, and then have it to where you work until your lunch break. And then during your lunch break, you quickly switch them on out, send them to a different one, and have it to where you just slowly start accruing these resources. That's what I would do. So whenever I'm not going to be on a video with you guys and I'm having it to where there might be days in between, I'll probably do some of this and all. But for right now, I really don't care. Like I'm spending time on my main and on my silver alt, my secondary one, because they are at a crucial point and I want to try and spend my time more so on them. So if you have multiple accounts and everything like I do, then make sure that you don't neglect your important ones in order to pay attention to like a G1. Sorry to say this. If anybody's watching in my current clan and everything like that, I apologize. But trust me, you guys will love it when I go through and actually have it to where I can dump some real resources into this character. And that'll be later on down the line. So, anyways, right now, still in the exact same clan. They didn't dump me or anything, which was awesome. And I'm gonna try and go through and reward them because when we get to the next event, which is Arachne, I am going to buy some packages. I'm gonna be buying some packages on my main, buying some packages on my silver alt, buying some packages on the tutorial this account. So it's going to be a little bit of buying in that involved. But with that being said, okay, so here's what you need to know out of this video and everything. And I've been delaying it too long and everything, but I just figured I'd give you an update. When you're playing the game, there are a few things that we haven't covered yet that you desperately need to set up before you go much further. Okay, so first thing off is the hero. Now, there was a challenge that I had already gone through and completed and everything. And it was if you spend a certain amount of, or if you buy a certain amount of gold within a week of first starting, then you get to unlock a hero. So the very first thing is we're going to pick a hero. Now, for those of you that are wondering what's the best hero, there's a bunch of them. So it's not like one is better than the other. I have basically four of them that I would highly recommend to everyone. And we're going to be going through and talking about what each one does and why you might want to pick it. So, granted, I'm not used to playing on this one. Maybe this. No, no, not that. Not that. Ahaha. Okay. All right. So we have our different like heroes that we could possibly go through and choose. if you're a guy, usually most guys are picking this, usually most girls are picking this. But it's also to where sometimes you'll run into people that just want to hide who the heck they are or pretend to be somebody else like that. I have run across like a few times where there was a guy playing under a girl, or a female character, and there has been plenty of times where you see girl playing under a guy character just because they don't want to deal with all the weird crap that goes on. If people are like, oh, you're a guy, so we're all doing, crap measuring, like, or, if you're a girl and everything, it's just like, hey, baby girl, what's your number? You get plenty of that crap if you're a female. For those of you that are female and are watching this, you probably know what I'm talking about. But anyways, aside from these two, which is based upon usually gender and everything, the rest of them are more of a gender blind type of thing. It's not as though, oh, you have a female character like Valencia that automatically you're a girl, or if you're a guy and you're spiked at the Togor, then you're necessarily a guy. It might be to where you're a female and you just really want to raise like your hero really quick. So that might be a spiked at Togor, person that you want. Aaron is more for developed players. So we're going to look at the ones that basically are the best. Now, there others have their different good aspects, but these are the ones that pretty much across the board, every single player that's high up can agree upon. And I'm going to tell you exactly which to choose and when. Because you're not going to just have one hero the entire time that you're playing. That would be a very, very bad mistake. So, like, some people that are like, oh, I want to control politics in my kingdom, so I'm going to get the Farons so that this way my votes count, like, way more. Yeah, I had one time to where during Clash of Thrones, where you're basically trying to control, like, who gets elected king in the kingdom. I got the top spot, number one. I had selected my Farron as or for my hero and everything, so I had 250 votes compared to the average senator that only had 10. I actually was the difference maker between one person getting the king and the other person getting the king. And I regret that decision just because I picked the wrong one. But oh well. So, with that being said, here's the ones that are probably the best no matter who or what you are. Okay, so number one, Ulrich. We're going to pull them up. Ulrich is basically the best for if you're going to have your bubble down. So think of it this way, right? When your bubble is up, nobody can really attack you. But for those of you that are like, hey, I'm not even going to be able to spend $5 a week, and I highly advise that you do spend $5 a week on this game in order to bubble, so that this way you never lose the stuff that you get, whether or not you gathered it, whether or not you earned it, or anything else like that. Having your resources taken away really slows you down. No lie. So when you're going through and you're trying to defend those resources, you can either do it by staying bubbled all the time or having it to where, like, hopefully you're online a lot, and Ulrich would be the best way to go. Here's the reason why. When a person decides to attack you, all right, so let's say, for instance, right, and I'm not going to do it, but I'll show you what exactly it is. Let's find an enemy. Okay. Now, granted, I can't attack them, but, I can go through and simulate it. This person's not in my clan, so it does give me the ability. Scouting somebody is basically where you send a really, really small amount of people and you go through and determine what they have. It's not really as though you killed them. You just want to find out what exactly they have, how big an army or whatever. There's also attacking. So when you attack somebody, right? If I was to select attack and I was to go through and pick out my troops and everything else, it would tell me basically how long it's going to take to get there. So it sees, you can see it 2 minutes and 31 seconds down here in the bottom left hand corner of this box. So it would take my troops 2 minutes and 31 seconds. If I accelerated it or hit speed up, I would get that down to 1 minute 15, which would therefore go to 37 seconds, which would therefore go to basically 19 seconds. You would run down to about 19 seconds off of 3 speed ups. That person has 19 seconds in order to try and set up a defense, call in reinforcements, and have it to where their army is ready to fight. Needless to say, it is extremely difficult, if not impossible. So let's say, for instance, right, that you want to make it easier on yourself. Let's look back at Ulrich. Sorry, takes a second in order to go in between. All right, so back at Ulrich. Okay, so for Ulrich, it says an enemy march to Ulrich City takes at least 4 hours without speed ups. So if you use 5 speed ups in order to go through an attack, that 4 hours will go down to 2, 1, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 7.5 minutes. It would take 7.5 minutes for me to go from that distance, from where my city is to where that person's city is, instead of 18 or 19 seconds. In the course of 7.5 minutes, you probably have a few people in your clan that are awake and that can come on over and reinforce you. You also have it to where if you decide to teleport your city, you can easily do that. If you want to have it to where you set up a defense, you could go through and quickly create as many troops as you possibly want. There's a whole bunch of different things that you could do during the course of 7.5 minutes. So Ulrich is extremely good for defense if you're going to be bubbled, or if you're not going to be bubbled. Sorry. The others that I would recommend, and granted, I'm going to cover them all, and then I'm going to tell you when to use each one of them. All right, this next one, Svaya Togor, this guy right here. Svaya Togor, it says 50% to the strength and health of your troops under the command of Svaya Togor without any captains. Okay, so here's what it means. When he's fighting a hero or an enemy by himself, he gets a 50% bonus whenever you have no other captains on the march with him. So, one of the times that this is actually pretty good is for when you're fighting Armageddon and it has that big, huge, multi headed, you know, kind of serpenty type of lizard reptile looking thing. It's called a Hydra. So, if you've ever covered Greek mythology and everything with all the different heads on it, you cut off one to grow back, blah, blah, blah. But, anyways, for Armageddon, that allows the hero to gain a whole bunch of experience really quickly. So, you can level up your captain super, super fast. So, Svaya Togor would be the best way in order to level up your captain. Your goal in this game is to get it to where if you're going for G9, you need to be at level 250 for your hero. Now, granted, we're only at G1, so we're not exactly thinking like, oh my god, I gotta get my captain up, blah blah blah, all this other kind of stuff. So eventually, your captain going up will be important, but for right now, not that important. Okay, so the next one is Aaron. Aaron is good because marches are not time limited and you can send marches to other kingdoms. So if you're in, now granted, your kingdom has to be open. So right now I'm in Kingdom 134. I cannot send any of my troops to another kingdom, unfortunately. And my troops from other kingdoms on my other accounts cannot come here yet. But eventually, all kingdoms open. So 134 will eventually open up, and when it opens up, it's going to have it to where we have to worry about big, big players are going to come on in. So Aaron is a good way in order to have it to where you can travel in between different kingdoms and you can fight other people. You can also go through and buy mercenaries with silver, but we'll get to that. If you've watched any of my other videos and everything, you might already know about some of this stuff. All right, then finally, Thalencia. Thalencia, I covered her last for a reason. So every 20 hours, Thalencia receives one of the gifts from her lovers. So we're going to go through and click on the gifts. You can see the mercs that she has it to where you could possibly get those. You could get 1 day VIP, you could get like 5 speed ups. And granted, these things go up as your level goes up in the game. So here's the thing about this: when you're early in the game, when you just started, Valencia is an absolutely great idea. Because if you're getting mercs, especially of level 6, then this is going to help you out a whole heck of a lot. So, what I would advise is that basically when you're early in the game, Valencia would probably be the best hero for you. Now, as you go further into the game, Valencia doesn't matter for crap. So, let's go through and take a look at, because there's one of 49 or whatever. Oh, okay. This is when your hero is level 1 through 49. These are the gifts that you get. When your hero is 50 through 99, these are the different things that you get. 100 to 149, 150 to 199. As you can see, they're getting a little bit better. And then finally, the 200 to 249. So they do have their different abilities and everything. Like you can get some stuff that is really, really useful for you. But in all honesty, like aside from the gold and the mercs, that is about the only thing when you're in the 200 to 249 level that you're actually like, oh, this is cool. And even then, if you're at 200 to 249, this really doesn't help you all that much. So just being honest with you. Now, when you get on up to these levels and everything, I mean, yeah, some of these are making a difference, but it's really just the mercs. This is when, like, the merc packages, like, it's not even that great. Like, I'm sorry, I can get way more mercs and that are more impactful when I get higher up. I mean, if you're at this level right here, you're basically one of the top 50 players in the game. This is not going to help you at all. None of it. Like, none of these things are going to be helping you. I'm sorry. Like, this is not even a third of one epic level crypt for a level, like 30. So it's like, yeah, that doesn't help me at all. So Valencia is a good idea as far as when you're young in the game because of the fact that all you have to do is like, let's say for instance that you're a casual, like you want to play for free player and you have gotten like one of those hero unlocks already. You can go through and play this game with Valencia and have it to where you slowly gather stuff over time. You keep on gathering things, you're getting the gifts from her, you're getting like your different resources and stuff like that. This is cool, whatever. But overall, the Lencia is only for when you're younger in the game. After a while, it's kind of like, this doesn't help me that much. Now, it would be if you're playing bubbled, which I'm highly advising all my players that are down in the lower levels to be bubbled at all times. And even if you're in the upper levels, I mean, really, you should just play the game bubbled. I'm sorry. The only times to where you ever go unbubbled is when you're ready to, hit people and hit them hard and then quickly go through and turn around and bubble up. So Ulrich is not really needed. Aaron is not until you're at least a G6, if not higher. The Lencia is good for the beginning of the game, but what we're probably going to do is we're going to end up going with Svaya Togor. I'm going to tell you why. Svaya Togor, with his ability in order to accelerate the captain, I need to get my captain up so that this way I can get my G level up. So in order to get to like G2, G3, G4, all that other kind of stuff, I'm going to need Svaya Togor to basically go through and kick a lot of, ASS. So, granted, you could always go through and look at these other guys and their abilities and everything else, like Thaddeus. I've seen Thaddeus for a bunch of different people when they get to a higher level. It ends up making your leadership, your authority, and your dominance bigger. So if you want to take big, huge armies and go through and attack other people, Thaddeus is a good way to do it. I'll be honest with you, these other guys, not really like, you know, oh my gosh type of thing. Like the only ones that are kind of like, hey, this might be useful, maybe, is the Necromancer. So this Tarius, I do have him unlocked under my main and everything, and it's because sacred potion production per hour plus 250. So he drastically increases your amount of sacred potions that you receive per hour. But then it's also to where you have a capacity of 150 or 1500. So every single 6 hours, you basically need to go through and empty out whatever it is that he's gone through and given you as far as sacred potions. So if you're doing a lot of fighting and dying, this is not a bad way to do it, especially when you're young in the game. But when you get to further in the game, 250 per hour doesn't do very much. So this basically, like this character, would only be decent for early in the game and not good for later. But in order to go through and grow in the way that we're going to end up needing to do, and what I would highly advise for a lot of you to do, would just be to go with Sviatogor and get it done. So we're going to unlock him. And we have one of these that we're able to use. If you do not have it to where you bought it with a part of a purchase or whatever, you can go through and buy this where you can unlock one of the main hero avatars and it will cost you $50. If you're doing it in Europe, it'll probably cost you like 40 to 45 euro or something like that. And if you're in different parts of the world, I don't know what the exchange rate is. I'm sorry. Um, so for this, the other way that you could do it is spend 1 million in gold. 1 million in gold, you get that as part of a package. Pretty much any package that you spend $250 on, you get 1 million in gold. The 1 million in gold is much more valuable than 50 bucks. Sad to say it, but it just is. So I would not advise that you go through and buy one of your hero unlocks with 1 million in gold. It just is not worth it. So I'm going to go through and, use my one to unlock him. All right. So now we're Sviatogor, which means that we're going to get a little bit more powerful when it comes down to certain things. And I'm hoping, as far as events go, that Armageddon comes up sometime soon. So let's take a look. Doomsday. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, so it doesn't. Wow. It's not even on the radar for this. Like, hey, this might come up sometime soon. That's disappointing. All right, so it's going to make it a little bit more difficult in order for us to go through and level up our captain. Now, here's what we're going to do in the meantime, right? Because, like I said, I'm only going to be really doing these videos whenever this pops up. Here's the events that we're going to basically concentrate on. I'm going to do a little bit on Hellforge. Not a ton, but a little bit in order to get some kind of armor for my different characters. And I'm basically going to try for one set. The other thing that I'm going to try and do is I'm going to hit Arachne, and that's going to help me level up my, get my Valor points in order to be able to get to where I have more powerful troops. Doomsday, I don't really need him yet and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, there are different parts of this. Trade routes we can't do anything with because we're in the exact same kingdom. Rise of the Ancients is in 3 days. This time I'll be able to participate because I've been in the clan long enough. So that'll be nice. And then other than that, I'm basically waiting towards Ragnarok. So are 3 different things that we're basically looking forward to at this point. And granted, if something else pops up, then I'll go through and do it as part of a video and everything. But we need Ragnarok, and I'll show you exactly what all that does. If you want, I already have a video completely dedicated to Ragnarok, so you can always go through and check that out. But Ragnarok and Arachne and a little bit of Hellforge are basically everything that I'm looking forward to at this point. The Rise of the Ancient, it's every single 6 days, so it doesn't really matter all that much. I mean, if I miss one, I miss one. So what? But we're going to do a little bit with Hellforge, but when Arachne comes, we are definitely going to be doing something with it. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, the next thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is VP, or I'm sorry, VIP. VP is Valor Points, VIP is this one. Okay, so whenever you buy a package, and also sometimes you get this as part of the different gifts that you're getting from other players, you can go through and get VIP points. And you can also go through and increase your VIP. You can also increase your attributes with the VIP getting activated. VIP is something that pretty much if you're buying a little bit and you're also going through and like getting it from other people, you're going to be getting it so darn much that you could just like go through and increase and increase. So the very first thing that we're going to take a look at is I already know I've bought a bunch of packages. I did that as part of, hey, I started the game. I went through and I spent probably like $600 and everything on try and go through and set up my character for success. So at this point, I know that with the purchases, I got VIP points as a part of it. So we're going to look to add some. And there's also an event that's going on right now. I'll show you real quick. The event that's going on right now is called Power Points. So Power Points are the VIP points. You can see the VIP crown, and you can also see the VIP points that we, hopefully already got. So we're going to go through and add some. And we have, of this, we have 1,900 points and everything. And as you can see from the meter and everything, we need to get 7,000 VIP points in order to get to the next level. The maximum level that you can get to is level 25. And 25, you also get it to where you'll have 25% increase to your strength of your army, 25% increase to the strength of your health, and a whole bunch of other things are going to be increased, like construction speed, gathering speed on all resources. So this is going to help me gather faster. I would have done this already, but I was waiting to have it to where I was going to be doing a whole lot of stuff at the exact same time. This way I could go through and show you guys in a video. So we're going to add these points in. Now remember, if you have premium activated, you could do the 2 arrows. If you don't, then you're going to have to just click it. Use. I think I did that. So we're able to put that up. We're going to do it again and again and again and again. Okay, so we're almost there. We have a good amount and everything. Now this one, I know we have a crap ton of, so this is where our level is going to go up very quickly. Here we go. And with that being done, we just added over 200,000 VIP points. So let's see what exactly that did to our level. Now we are level 13. So whereas before we were level 1, now we're level 13. So we definitely increased a darn good bit. And we need to get up to like, 200, we need to get to 1.3 million. Oh, we're 206,000 away from the 1.3 million mark. So we probably added, just a whole crap ton. Whatever. Who cares? All right, so here we go. Let's see what exactly we got. Free city construction speed up. So anything under 20 minutes, it's going to do, it will show up as free, and we can go through and click it. Free daily job speed up. So now anything under 3 hours, as far as that, for what would be a normal daily job, we have it to where we could just hit claim, which is awesome. And I'm going to show you why. Number of daily jobs has increased, and now we're up to 8 instead of 5. Production of all resources is going to go up by 14%. Tar production up 9%. Gathering speed of all resources just went up by 80%. So remember before when we were gathering with our troops, it took us 4 hours and 35 minutes in order to get, I want to say like 500,000. Yeah, it was like 435,000 in 4 hours and 30. It was really weird. It was like for every single, I don't know. It's not every single minute, but whatever. Needless to say, 80% is basically almost cutting it in half. We also have construction speed that goes up by 14%. Our technology resource speed went up by 14%. So basically 1/7 of the time from what we were before. Our army is now 9% stronger. Health of our army 9% stronger, and march speed went up by 9%. Now, because of the fact that we lost that for the first 2 or 3 days, we have it to where if your hero is below the level 20, then it's going to have it to where all this stuff is drastically faster. Now we get to play at normal common person speed. So our marches are just going to take ridiculously long and everything. And you're going to be like, dear gosh, is it always this way? Well, we're trying to increase it a little bit with the 9% increase. So we did do a little bit of good. The other thing that we have to do is, even though you added the points, you still need to activate VIP. So we're going to go through and activate it. Now, in activating it, you have a few different options. So the first option is the 1 hour mark, and we have 23 of those. I have absolutely no need in order to do those because I have the 1 day mark. Now, usually what I do is I'll start from the top and work my way down. And especially when we get to like the 7 day and 30 days, guys, you're not getting this unless you're just buying it in gold. It's really not in any of the packages that you're going to find a 30-day one, or at least not the ones that you really need to be spending any money on. Do not spend in order to get this. There's no point. When I was going through with my main and everything, there was not a single time to where I've ever had it to where I wasn't VIP. You should always be VIP. If you don't get it from, buying it yourself, you're probably getting it from other people. I spent $600 and I basically got it enough to where I'm there, but also you'll get it as gifts from your other people in your clan. Now, granted, the higher up in the game that you get, the more likely it is that you're getting this as a gift from other people, but still, we're going to go through and do something that I didn't do before and I just wish I had done it. I just put in all of them. So now I have 76 days where I will be VIP, which coincidentally enough will be close to when I'll probably be done with this account, at least in this kingdom. So right now, for the next 76 days, I'm going to be in VIP status, which is awesome. And because of that and everything, I activated my VIP status. I added all those points in. Let's see what exactly it did to our position in the event. So it says that I'm at place number or rank number 92 at 4.1 million in points and everything. Probably exactly how much I went through and added or whatnot. So it says 92. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Sometimes when you go through and exit out of this and you can come back into it, it actually updates and it's just like, oh, wait, we were wrong. You're actually up here. Sometimes not. All right. Well, 92 is still top 100, so I'll take it. And now it's with like, there's a bunch of people that are actually buying in this, kingdom right now, especially in this clan. There was one person that bought a ton of packages. All right, so summon mastery and everything. Now we're going to talk about captains real quick. And the reason why I want to talk about captains is because of the fact that there is one in particular that we desperately need to get leveled up. And I'm going to show you which one. Okay, so one of the very first things that I spent money on while I was doing the different packages and stuff like that for this account was I bought Cleopatra. Cleopatra is a one-stop shop if you're trying to go through and increase your player up to a relatively decent level. So Cleopatra, I went through and I got the 200 pieces of her. Oh, sorry. This is the 249 sale. I did not spend 249 on her. I spent $99 on her. So, yeah. You get, I think it was like 80 puzzle pieces for the $99 one. I also got some Immortal Essence and a few other things. I got some gold out of it and blah, blah, blah. So I spent the $99 on her, and we're going to look at which captains you need to be unlocking, leveling up, playing with, all that kind of stuff. So the very first captain that we absolutely need is Ada. Ada was already given to us and everything. She is an absolute rock star. We are going to go through and use her pretty much the entire way. Now, there are going to be others and everything that we will be switching her out for. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't like Logos. Like, he does increase your specialists and everything. So if you play to where you're fighting a lot of other people and getting a lot of conquest points, then Logos is going to be the man. Basically, how Ada is equivalent, where Ada is going through and giving you guardsmen, he's going to be helping with your specialists. Now, I've seen players go through and do their specialists and everything. I'm not sure if it does work this way, but I have a thought where it might work is when you level up your guardsmen from one level to the next, your mercs also go up. Your mercs have to be at least 2 levels above where your guardsman is. Now, right now, if I were to buy a package for, and I'm at G1, I'm going to get G5 level mercs. But if I'm at G4, they go to G6, and G5 would be G7, and G6 would be G8, and blah, blah, blah. You get the point. But after a certain point, once you get to G7, they don't keep on increasing. So when you're G8, sorry, they're still G9. They're not going any higher. So it kind of caps out at a certain point. All right, now, with that being said, are different captains that we really want to go through and use. Now, I said that Logos is not exactly my favorite because conquest points, I like to use them in order to make my troops stronger. I don't like to use them in order to make my troops stronger, like in their level. I like to make my troops stronger when they hit. There's a very big distinction in that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically dismiss Logos. Don't care. And also, Tangle, I don't really need him because of the fact that Tangle is going to be just for marching purposes, and I really don't need him. All right, now with that being said, let's go through and see who we do need. So, the very first one. There are only certain ones that we've unlocked so far. So, I can't go through and do certain players or certain captains just because I don't have them yet. Like all these guys that are grayed out and everything, kind of like a black and white movie, I can't use them, even though some of them are really, really useful. So let's take a look at the ones that we are really wanting to keep around. Very first one, I want to have it to where like we're going to start at the bottom of the list and work our way up. Bran, unless you're doing a ton of catapults and hitting other people's cities, don't need him. Proscope is only for assassinating people, don't need him. Brunhild, she works with flying people. Lucius is for basically mounted people. And then we got Bernard is for ranged. Yi Hung So Low or whatever. I can't go through and say his name without laughing because I mean Yi Hung or whatever the heck his name is. Like, let me show you guys. So, oh, Yi Ho Sung. Yi is a ho. I just went there and combined Yi Hung, but you know, anyways. If you're of a perverted mind, you get the joke. Anyways. All right, so no, 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 no. Ingrid is good for monsters, but we're looking at people that can do a little bit of everything. Now is where we're getting to people that we actually do want to give a crap about. So these are the ones that I'm going to show you what I did on my main, but that's also where I spent a lot more money and everything. So we're going to have it to where we're going to have to adapt because we're not going to spend a whole lot of money on this. And I would assume that most of you don't have unlimited pockets and everything. If you do have unlimited pockets, then this is going to be to where you probably want to write some of these down as far as notes. If you're not taking notes yet, you might want to take notes now. All right. For captains that you absolutely need to concentrate on, first one is going to be Dustan. Dustan is great as far as for conquest points. So whenever you go through and you fight another player and their city, you're gaining conquest points as part of it. The bigger the player, probably the more that you're going to get your butt kicked, but the bigger the player, the more the conquest points is that you get. So one way to basically go through and get really great conquest points, there's an event called Shadow Invasion. Unfortunately, they tried to make it a little bit more difficult, and now they're only making it to where it comes up once a month. But Shadow Invasion is an absolutely great way in order to get conquest points in this game. So as part of that, you're going to send Dustan as part of the group because for every single level that he goes up, he gains you, I think it's 0.5% in extra CP points. So if he's at level 100, you get 50% more in CP points. Very useful. So Dustan, absolutely, no matter what, whether or not you're a beginner player or a high level player, Dustan is pretty universal. Everybody absolutely uses him, and you need to go through and concentrate on him. And since the fact that he is only an epic level captain, he's pretty easy in order to go through and get. We haven't gotten him yet, but we're going to start doing some summoning very soon. Store ore is great for gathering, as far as like if you go to mines, quarries, stuff like that. Every single percent that he goes up, he also increases his gathering speed. And you can see it's like, oh, you can get up to 1100% and everything. Yeah, but that is a whole lot of stuff that goes into it in order to get him up that high. For store ore, I think it's like every single level that he goes up, he gives you 1% better in the gathering speed and everything. So he is going to be your gatherer. He will gather lumber for you, stone, and iron like nobody's business. When you're creating troops, Helen is a great way to do it because Helen, what she does is she makes it to where you will get troop training speed increased. Speed ups are absolutely a pain in the butt in this game, and it's going to cost you a heck of a lot of money in speed ups unless you're in an absolutely great clan. For those of you that are don't wanting to spend a huge amount of money in very, very stupid ways, make sure that you have Helen. Make sure that you go through and level her up as much as you possibly can. So, like, if you're fighting Arachne, throw her in a few times as one of your 3 captains in order to get her up very, very fast. Okay, now when you get to this next group and everything, it's a matter of opinion and a matter of the way that you want to fight. I've come to find that I am a very much a melee type of fighter and everything, where I like guys that like do the work up close and personal. So I do a lot of monster killing, and that's to where the melee fighters with Leonidas are always a good idea. For every single level that he goes up, he gains 2% towards his melee fighters. So imagine basically a whole lot of spearmen and everything, or a lot of guys with swords. He's absolutely a great guy in order to go through and use. However, the problem with him is that there are certain epic monsters that are very, very anti melee players. They kick the crap out of melee players like nobody's business. So there are some drawbacks to him. You have Minamoto is great for ranged. So every single level that you go up, your ranged or your like archers and stuff like that, your riflemen, they will gain 2% in their strength. Ramses is about army health. I honestly hate Ramses because in order to get him is so gosh darn difficult. And in order to get the star level up, it's so gosh darn difficult. Ramses is horrible. So unless you're spending a huge amount of money and trying to play the lotto, which there's a part of this game where you can play lotto, and I'll show you it, it is stupid. Wu Zetian is pretty good and everything for your flying, like your Coraxes, and before that, your Griffins. She's pretty good as far as that goes, and you don't get them until your guardsmen are at 5. And then when you're talking about Aminatori, this is for whenever you have group raids. Alexander is for your mounted. So the ones that I would recommend the most, if you're trying to hone in on like the higher levels, is going to be if you're wanting to do a lot of mounted troops, which mounted are pretty good in almost everything. Like I honestly really like mounted. Alexander is a good way to go. Minamoto is a good way to go if you're doing a lot of archers and riflemen and stuff. And then Leonidas is a good way to do if you're doing a lot of melee. So the ones that you kind of can ignore is like Guyen, which is up here. She's absolutely useless. She's good for archers and everything, but when you're going to concentrate, you might as well concentrate on people that are further up. Plus, she's blue, which means that she is weak. She's not even an epic level captain. So for like people that we have, like, and not to knock anything against Ada and all, she's blue for the background. She's kind of weak. But, whatever. Let's see. All right, Cleopatra. No matter what, insert Cleopatra. And I'm going to show you why. Every single level that she goes up, she gains 1 in your entire army strength. Not on your archers, not on your swordsmen, not on your mounted specific. This is everybody. So we're going to go through and make sure that we put her in. We're going to summon her. Yay, we hired her. Congratulations. We just became way stronger. Now, the good thing about Cleopatra is that this is also not bad of a fighter in order to go up against an epic level monster. If you're going up against epics, there are 3 people that you really want to try and get. Now, depending upon your wallet and how far in the game you're getting is whether or not you're going to be going after one of these 3. Cleopatra you can get from the very beginning. Not difficult to get her. Hercules you can get from the very beginning. Beowulf, every single level that he goes up, it's 1% to strength, 1% to health. So he can become an extremely, extremely powerful player. The only problem is, in order to get him, you have to do a challenge. And this challenge is only once you get to Guardsman level 6. And even then, it's only when the season pops up. So needless to say and everything like that, it becomes extremely difficult to go through and get him. I got him on my main. However, it's not that easy to go through and get him. And I'm going to go through and check something real quick just to see if like the rumors are true or not. Okay, so there's one portion of this triumphal, challenge and everything where you could do sales. And we're going to go through and we're going to do some of these and everything, but I'll do it when you guys aren't around so I can put in my card information. All right, so in this, when you're doing sales, this is how you get Hercules. You got valuable resources, and you have to buy this one before you can get the next one. And there's also requirements as far as the level of, rewards that you're at. So right now we're at level 12. So needless to say, the only thing that I could possibly purchase would be the valuable resources times 2, which means that whenever it says times 2, it's twice the value of what you would normally get. Now the next one has guardsmen and everything. However, in order to get them, I have to be level 20. So I am not there yet. And then you can get Hercules. So Hercules is considered a mythic level captain. Every single level that he goes up is an extra 2% against an epic level monster. So for like Hellforge or Arachne or Ragnarok, all of those, Hercules. Hercules is absolutely a great way to do it. If you're trying to decide like what am I going to spend money on, I would highly advise that you basically do the valuable resources, go through and get the guardsmen, and then you go through and you can get Hercules. This is a $250 purchase that every single month, if you have the money for it, once a month, you spend $250 and you can go through and you can get some resources, like it has potions and a whole bunch of other stuff. You can get some mercs as a part of it. And then you can also go through and get more pieces towards Hercules. And your goal is to gradually build him over time. My Hercules is currently sitting at, I think, star level 5 on my main. However, he's about to go to 6 this month. So I will get him to level 6. The only other thing I wanted to try and see, and I'm going to zoom across a little bit, so I do apologize. Improve your captain times 2. This one is really good as far as for, and I'm going to see if it'll. Okay, so it does have like all the regular legendary captains, and then it does have Hercules in there. Now let's see if they included it on. All right, Mythic Hercules. We're going to take a look-see. All right, it's just Hercules. There was a thought process from different people that play the game as to whether or not they were going to make it to where under the sales for this, if you could go through and buy pieces for Beowulf. Beowulf, in all honesty, is the most powerful captain in the game. Hands down, flat out, no debate from anybody on that one. However, the problem with Beowulf is trying to get him is so gosh darn hard. Like, if you've seen my video and everything over this, then you probably are like, hey, yeah, this is a good idea to go through and get Beowulf. I think they're going to offer out that seasonal challenge probably like once a year. They're going to be like, hey, this time, or probably like September or October of next year, you might see Beowulf challenge again. It's a 90-day challenge, which is 3 months. And in order to get it, it's so gosh darn hard to get him and everything. Now, granted, it can be done, but it's probably going to cost you not just money, but effort, probably somewhere around $700. If we're talking effort, you're going to have to put almost as much attention into that one as you do into your main account. And the way that they do it is you have to get up to guardsman level 6 within 90 days. And so if you're smart and you basically follow the script that I, put out in my Beowulf Kingdom, it's not difficult. I got up to guardsman level 6 in 5 days. I could have done it in 4. It's all a matter of timing. So if you are just like, oh, well, shoot, how do you do that and everything? Yeah, I spent $1,000 in order to do that in that amount of time. So if you're willing to spend $1,000 in 5 days and everything, yeah, getting Beowulf is not exactly difficult. But there's also different levels of Beowulf. There's star level 1, which, yeah, you get him and everything and you get the use out of him. But when you start to get up to like level 4, which is what I have him at, versus people that got to G9, there was like 65 of them or whatever that accomplished it. Those guys got him up to level 7. Needless to say, if you're fighting a person with Beowulf at level 7, you are not winning that fight. Pretty much. I was beating people down that had might that were anywhere from 100 million to 200 to 300 million higher than me, just off of Beowulf at star level 4, and they didn't have him. That's the difference in between like having him and not having him in this game. Big, huge difference. So if we're talking purely captains wise, what I would honestly advise as far as like, here's what you do, right? We're going to concentrate on certain guys. Carter, absolutely need to. Carter is going to be our, thank gosh we have the pieces for him. Carter is going to be our Crypt Raider. Now, the good thing about Carter is that for every single level that he goes up, Carter has it to where he gains 1% in exploration efficiency. So if he's at level 50, you have a 50% bonus to your crypt exploration. Very, very useful. So we're going to have Carter as one of our 3 captains pretty much at all times. We're going to have Cleopatra as one of our 3 captains, and we're going to have Ada as one of our 3 captains. If we're going to do any type of switching out, because that will happen, I'm going to tell you who I'm probably going to deal with. I'm not dealing with Tangle because I'm not worried about any type of merc exchanges, so we're going to ignore him. Hercules, I will be getting probably right before Arachne and right before I start that whole entire video. I probably would have done $250 in purchases in order to be able to get him. And if I don't get him immediately, I will be getting him soon enough. So whether or not it's this Arachne or the next Arachne, I can pretty much guarantee you I will be getting Hercules. And then the other person I'm probably going to do, I did Leonidas last time, but I might be doing Alexander. There's really no difference in the availability of puzzle pieces in one versus the other, but I've come to find that it might be a little bit easier in order to fight epics with mounted units as opposed to with spearmen. So I'm going to go with Alexander. And then when it comes down to the rest, we're also going to try and aim for Helen, get her up, and Stror and Dustan. So right now, I'm going to basically concentrate on a few different people. There are 2 other people that you probably want to go through and take a look at. And if you can incorporate them, incorporate them. Now, granted, when you get very, very late in the game, these 2 become useless. And that's only because of the fact that you're going to have so many speed ups. You can go through and spend 1,500 days worth of speed ups and not even blink an eye if you're in a good clan. So Farhad, and also with gosh, I haven't used her name. Oh, Aurora. Yeah, I haven't used her name in so long. Sorry, guys. So Aurora for construction, Farhad for research. I think it's every single level that they go up, their speed of research or whatever goes up by like half of a percent. It might be 1%. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's been a while. So Farhad and Aurora are also good in order to go through and get. So at this point, as far as the ones that we are going to basically, concentrate on, Farhad, if I can get him, Aurora, if I could get her, and then we'll do no. Dustin, Stroor, Helen, Alexander, Hercules, and Carter. Those are going to be my people. Also, Cleopatra and Ada. So it's a big list right now, but that list is going to get shrunken down quite drastically over time just because of the fact that, like, once I get it to where I have Alexander, then Ada might go bye bye, to be honest. We'll see. But I'm going to try and go through and get certain people. Now, here's the reason why I said that we got to concentrate on certain people. There is a certain event that comes up and it's always active at all times. This event is basically Summon Mastery. Summon Mastery is to where you are trying to get your captains in order to be able to like fight with them or, increase them up or whatever. And you need to get the puzzle pieces as a part of it. Now, in order to summon and have it to where you can go through and increase these people, I'll show you in a second. But right now, the one that is basically up is the Get Ada Fragments. So as part of this, every single time that you go through and do any summoning, you're gradually gaining points in order to get more Ada, in order to get her at a higher level. So I do really, really like getting Ada up. But the problem is, though, that I'd much rather spend my small amount of elite summoning scrolls on the legendary captains. And so the ones that I'm going to spend them on, and granted, it's dependent upon whenever the heck he hops up and everything. I'll go through and show you. Oh, wrong one. All right. Let's take a look-see. All right, not that one. Duh. No. We're going to look to see when exactly Alexander pops up. So there's a few different people that we need to go through and like look at. Now, granted, certain ones will not pop up as an event. Like Cleopatra will not have an event towards her. There are certain ways to get her, and I'll show you and all. As far as just getting the regular puzzle pieces, I think it's a part of the Triumphal Challenge, and where that has shop, and you could go through and get pieces of her that way. But it is a slow go of it. Alexander, I could get pieces pretty darn easily and everything whenever that event pops up. So I'm going to go through and concentrate on that. And other than that, like all these other ones, you're going to get pieces from, common summons so darn often that you really don't need to aim for their events. Like Farhad is going to be easy to get. All these guys I have maxed out on my main. The ones I haven't maxed out, Helen, Leonidas, Amatore, Wu Zetian, Ramses, Minamoto, Alexander. I have not maxed those people out. Because what I was doing is I'm getting all these pieces down here, but I'm not getting the pieces up there nearly as easily. So even all these guys have been maxed out, and it's been a while since they've all been maxed out. So I don't even need to go through and get them anymore. So I need to go through and have it to where I target the events that are going to give me the most amount. Ada, because of the fact that she is one of my fighters right now, I'm going to go through and do it. But other than that, like I probably will only do the bare minimum for all of them except from Alexander. So expect to see to where if you're like, okay, why aren't you doing summoning right now? in a larger amount, even if I get extra summoning scrolls, is because I'm going to wait in order to be very particular about when to do it. All right, so just for a little bit of housekeeping, we have daily jobs. And as you can see, anything under 3 hours as part of that VIP part, this takes 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. So all these are absolutely easy jobs. And because of the fact that we have VIP, we don't even have to try and do them. We also have it to where we can add. Now, because I spent all that money and everything, I know that I have extra jobs I can go through and add. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to add some right now. And after I'm done in this video and everything, I'm going to add a whole heck of a, I'm going to add the rest of these, all 130 some odd of them. I will leave 2 in here just so that I can have it to where when I want to add more, I can easily add more. But for right now, these are going to go through and help me out. Now, for things that you need to know as far as like the daily jobs and everything, it gave you lumber, it gave you, different parts. It also gives you experience. So there are good things as a part of it. Don't tell me I did that. I left Carter off. Dum, da, dum, dum, me. I could have gotten Carter up to level 4 already. Stupido. All right, so here's what we're going to do. By the way, if you think that every single player that plays this game is perfect, trust me, they're not. They're like, oh, I forgot to add this. Oh, I forgot to do that. I should add Carter in there. Because now, every single time that I complete one of these daily jobs, I'm gaining experience as a part of it. Look down at the very bottom of the screen where it says like 50 experience, 200 experience, 50, 100, 100, 200, 200, 500, all these different things. One time I actually had it to where I think I was up at like 2,000 daily jobs I could have added, or 2,000 of the things in order to add daily jobs. If you have 2,000 and you have VIP level at 25, then basically take that 2,000, multiply it by 11. That is how many you get per, one. So I had 22,000 times I had to sit here and click this. Now, for some people, they do auto clicker. I don't do auto clicker. I'm just really fast with my index finger when it comes down to playing on my phone. All right, so now with that being done, get out of this, and oh, Carter's up to level 5. Shocker. He would be up higher, except for I forgot. And Cleopatra's up to level 5 also. So we gain a little bit out of that. So that means that now Carter is 5% better at going through and hitting a crypt. Yeehaw. All right, so with that being said, we've done our hero, we've done our VIP, we went through and added in our captains that we're going to be concentrating on. So now we're at a much, much better place in order to do this. So what I would highly advise and everything, if you have it to where you're like, okay, what do we do next and everything? Your next stage, if you're going through and trying to follow along, I would have it to where I would take Cleopatra. Well, we got achievements, got to go through and undo. And we got certain things as a part of that. I think we got a few more PowerPoints out of that. No, never mind. Whatever. All right, so now what we can do, what you guys can do is keep on hitting crypts and keep on going through and gathering. Now, even though we don't have straw ore yet, you can go through and easily do that. Like, hey, keep on hitting crypts, keep on gathering. Now, one other thing that we're going to do is because we have Ada as the event that's currently going on for Summon Mastery, we are going to be doing some summoning. So I have some free ones. Yay, we got two pieces of Brunhild. Oh my gosh, so special. The other thing is that we have 45 of the whatchamacallit. So here's a little trick that I'm going to show you guys, and I do desperately hope that all of you do this. Whenever you have elite summoning scrolls, only use 30 at a time. Let me show you why. When you're looking at the event for Summon Mastery, this is something I realized very early on and it helped me out a whole heck of a lot. If you look at the amount of puzzle pieces that you get per the amount of different summons that you have to do in order to get there, like even the difference in between. If I use 5 elite summoning scrolls, then I can go through and get 8 pieces of Ada. If I use 5 more, I get 8 pieces. So right now we're at 1.6 to 1. If we go through and add 10 more summoning scrolls, it would get us from 100 to 200, and that would get us 10 pieces. So now it is 1 to 1. Notice that you're getting what they call in investments as diminishing returns. So if we get diminishing return off of that, what happens when we go even further? 10 pieces, and the difference is 100. That means you have to use 10 elite summoning scrolls. So 10 to 10. So you get a 1-to-1 ratio. Watch what happens when you go to the next one. We're going to go from 300 to 600, which means that we're going to have to use 30 summoning scrolls. And we're going to get, what is it, 13 or no, 15. Okay, so we are going to get at this point, for every single summoning scroll, we're getting half a puzzle piece. Half. We went from at the very beginning 1.6. Now we're all the way down to where we're doing half. And as you go further down, it gets to where the difference in between 2,000 and 3,000 is basically 100. And we're getting half again. In between 1,200 and 2,000, it's 800, which would be 80. And you're getting half again. So in the very beginning of this, when you're going through and doing your summoning, you're getting 1.6. So if you're like, hey, what if I just did the best return investment? Okay, use 10. 10 elite summoning scrolls. That'll go through and get you 16 puzzle pieces. That is the best bang for your buck. If you want to go through and have it to where you have a threshold and everything, and you're like, hey, I'm going to do super, super cheap at the very beginning, do 10. You can probably go through and scrounge up 10 elite summoning scrolls as far as while you're playing this game in the course of however often you're doing this event. If you have it to where you're wanting to go a little bit further, a little bit deeper, because you really like that character or it's going to be real, real useful for you, get to 300, which means that you're going to use 30 elite summoning scrolls. So because of the fact that I highly doubt that Alexander is going to be the next one. Now, granted, we can always go through and look at the events. And if it doesn't pop up as far as what the next one is, then that means that you're on the first day. Usually, Summon Mastery is a 2-day event. So come this time tomorrow, I can look at the event and it will pop up down here for the get ready. And you'll see it's going to be this character for that Summon Mastery event. If it's Alexander, that comes up to in 2 days from now. I hope I get at least 15 more at that point, because for right now, I'm going to use 30. And I think I have, 45 elite summoning scrolls. So I'm going to go through, and I always do it this way. I do the times 10 one, because I figure if I'm going to jump from one bracket to the next bracket, at the very least, I could get 16 Ada puzzle pieces if I did 10. So I'm going to hit the summon times 10. And as part of this, we got different people, different amounts. We got an entire character in the form of Sophia. I do like Sophia. I use her a lot and everything. That sounds really horrible coming from a guy like, hey, I use her. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I use Ada and everything a lot. And the way that I used her was she was one of my gatherers on my main account and everything. But because of the fact that I'm going to be extremely targeted in this, when playing this time, because I'm not going to devote that much time and attention to this account, I'm going to end up not using her this time. I'm going to use Carter a lot. I'm going to use Cleopatra a lot. And I'm going to use Ada a lot. And she's just not going to be one of my people. And we get another character. We got Proscope. If you ever get puzzle pieces, you probably got Proscope, because Proscope is the most often puzzle piece I have ever gotten. And it's not even close. I got him up to 7 stars, and it wasn't even like a month and a half into the game. He's good as a scout in order to go through and try and kill the other person's like hero or whatever inside their city. But there's also a hero that you need to have in order to make it to where Proscope is really powerful. And even then, oh yeah, you took out the hero, but they still have 3 captains that can go through and add bonuses. So it's like, all right, whatever. So at this point, I'm going to hit return. And we got a common summon that we could go through and do. Sophia pieces. Okay, cool. And because of the fact that it's Ada that's currently going on, and I said I was going to use 30 of these, I'm going to do the Elite Summon times 10 2 more times in order to hit that 300 threshold. Let's see if I can get any more captains that's a part of this. Dustin! Yes! All right, Dustin's very good. We need him anyways, so that's going to be very useful. We got some Carter pieces. Got Doria. Okay, Doria is good whenever you're like for every single level that she goes up, you get 0.5% towards the Valor points and everything. Doria is good if you're going to fight lower level monsters. Having it to where, like, if you're not worried about having it to where she's going to, like, if she's not going to be in danger and your troops are not going to be in danger because she's not going to have that many other bonuses to her aside from whatever armor you put on her. Doria is good for common monsters that you would just want to knock out and get rid of, and you get some extra valor points as a part of it. So if I'm fighting a lot of little monsters and everything, I'm going to use Doria. But for me, I figured that if I'm trying to show you guys how to play, showing you how to kill common monsters is not exactly something that you need a whole lot of help with. All right, we're going to get another one. Hopefully Farhad. Yi Hung Solo. I really wish that that was his actual name. Take the like O and take the like UNG and switch them. Yi Hung So. Anyways. Come on, guys. A sick mind is a joy forever. All right, Bran. Most overrated character ever. All right, so we got all that and everything. And I know that like I can go through and hit this button, but I always get paranoid and think like, oh, it's gonna wipe out the progress that I got. It doesn't work that way. At least I don't think. I've tried it, but you know, I'm just gonna do it the safe way. One last time. Let's see who I get. Do we get any more captains, or we're just gonna get puzzle pieces? Ooh, we got 5 pieces of Minamoto, 5 pieces of Cleopatra. We also got for everybody else that we already have, pretty much. All right. Okay. So now at this point, we're down to 15. I'm hoping that we could get some more before Alexander pops back up. All right. With that being said, we're pretty much settled. We're going to help out some more in our clan. I know if I was a clan leader, I'd be like, dude, when are you going to go through and get some more chests? And I'm going to be like, dude, I'm not going to be that active of a player. Don't worry, they'll still get a lot out of me, but they're going to get more out of me than they will most other players because unlike other players, I'm going to be G5 before they even know it. And the rest of them are going to be like G2. And then they're going to be like, oh, Raven's teacher, help us out. And then I'm going to be like, dude, watch my channel. Kidding. I'm not going to say that to them. I will put that in the Kingdom chat, though. All right. Now, as a part of going through and getting these different captains and everything, we're going to go through and claim, and we're going to get some goodies out of this. Yay. And so because of that, all right. Okay, now at this point, if you are looking at your captains, and let's say that you just did your first round of summoning and everything, you can always be like, you know, hey, I could have, you know. So now you do have different options and all as far as like, oh, I can have Sophia, I can have Dustin. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to use Dustin a whole lot, and I am going to level him up and everything. But pretty much the rest of these guys, nope, not doing it. So you will see this completely change around. It goes in order of their level and everything. So Dustin and Carter are probably going to be the highest up and all. And then you'll see the rest of these guys will just stay at like whatever they're at now. They'll probably stay that the whole entire time. So I'm going to put Carter back in because I do plan on actually doing some crypts and everything just to be able to keep my clan happy so that they're not like, dude, you haven't done nothing to help us out. What the heck? Why do we even keep you? Okay, so at this point, I think we're basically good. I mean, like, granted, there's a whole heck of a lot of stuff to do, but it's stuff that you guys can basically easily figure out. Like, hey, do the dailies, like, do 3 common crypts, hit the arena 5 times, simple stuff like that. I'm sure you guys can figure this out. This one says research any technology from the engineer core section. So we can always go on over to here, research technology, engineer core. And we're just going to do the first one and just all that. I hate waiting around. Sorry, guys, I just do. All right, because of that, we took care of that one, which means that this way we don't have to worry about that now. Yay. Claim it. We're going to get a little bit further. And then the rest of these guys, make sure you're doing your dailies every single day. It's all too easy in order to knock this out. Like, hey, going over to your capital. We're going to do our taxes. Pay taxes. I bet you more than anything that we probably have to do it to where we're combining some materials, which I can go through. I think I can do this. Oh, that's just the ones that you see it in. Amount. These materials can be. Okay, I'm just going to combine the whole entire group of it. Probably a bad idea, but oh well. I mean, it's a good idea overall, but the problem is so that I wish that I was like, I'm not used to the computer. I'm used to on my phone. Like on my phone, I can do like 4 pieces at a time that I combine. Set this way, like that 17 pieces, that would be 4 days worth of combining for me. So that this way I don't like have it to where, oh, I can't do this one right now. So we have craft any equipment. I'm not doing any equipment of crafting, right now. But whenever you hit the 200 mark and all, you always get an elite summoning scroll as a part of it. So this is a good idea for you to go through and complete your dailies every single day. So I'll probably work on that a little bit. If I don't be surprised. And then we got 4. That's because summon mastery wise, I almost forgot. We get the pieces. And then let's go through, and I think I can actually get Ada up to the next level. Maybe. Maybe I'll have. Ooh, yeah. Talk dirty to me. 51 out of 40. I can do it. And I have barely enough immortal essence in order to do it. All right. Now she is star level 2, which means that compared to star level 1, 15%. Oh, okay, so star level 1, I had nothing else. So now my guardsmen are up 15%. Any ones that ever march with her, and the tenacity points, which means that how like good of a fighter she is, also goes up. The tenacity is like who's gonna strike first type of thing, like who's relentless and stuff like that. I basically ignore tenacity and the authority and dominance and leadership and all, but it's to where like those things basically take care of themselves, so no point. All right, with that being said, you guys have homework. At this point, here's what you do. Go through and hit crypts, and when you hit the crypts, take Carter with you. Have it to where you fight different troops and everything like that. Use Cleopatra and Ada. Just alternate. Cleopatra, Ada, Cleopatra, Ada. Just go back and forth and everything. Do not have it to where you wear out your army too much. Hit the low level of stuff in order to get do a part of that. If you want, you can always, if you have Doria, as part of your summon, you can always go through and use Doria in order to kill some of the low ones, just because you're going to get a little bit extra VP out of it. And by the way, you get 5 common, free common scrolls and everything per day. So make sure that you go through and use them. I think it's like every single 5 minutes of when you've been sitting there, another one will pop up. So if I wait 5 minutes, I'll get another one. But that's your homework, guys. Please go through and keep up with your account. Have it to where you do a better job than I do. And that's only because of the fact that, quite frankly, I have better things to do than to concentrate on my third account. A lot of you are basically on your first one, so this should be something to where you're playing an hour a day at the minimum. Find it to where you have a set routine, like, hey, from this time to this time every single day I'll play it, or hey, I have a little bit of free time, I'm going to start it up on my phone. Have it to where I hit it during my lunch break, or right after I get off of work, before I hop in the car and drive home, right before you get to work, and maybe like for a half an hour before bedtime, just go through and knock it out. So you have different things to do. Please go through and hit the like button if you did enjoy this video. If you want to subscribe, you can always subscribe. There will be a lot more videos that will be coming out. This is, I think, part 3. Part 4 is where we're going to make a jump. And by a jump, I mean a big jump. At the very least, we'll be going to Guardsman 2, maybe Guardsman 3, all in the course of one day. So expect the video to be a little bit longer, but it's going to have it to where I will be making a good sized jump as a part of it. But now at this point, you guys should have a decent idea on what to do. If you have a question on anything that I haven't covered in the course of this video, please go through and check out some of my other videos. If you have a question on a certain topic, look for the topic first before you go through and try and complain or hit me up or whatever. I had it to where there was one person that had asked me a question like, hey, can you do a video over this? And then they went there and did their homework and saw that on my channel I've already done a video over that. So it ended up making it kind of null and void. If you want to get a hold of me easier, because I do check my phone and check the game often throughout the day. Now, granted, right now, like with Hellforge, not exactly the event that I need for any of my accounts, but please go through and have it to where you guys are hitting me up directly in the game. The name is Lefinan, Lefinan. You can go through and contact me in Kingdom 100 if you're looking for my location. Just go through and look at the bottom center, and that's where I'm in FOC Bastards, and I'm basically in the bottom middle of the entire map or whatever for Kingdom 100. So with that being said, I'm going to go through and I'm going to play Hellforge. I'll do the first attack with you guys, and then I'm going to cut out the video. But I hope that you guys actually got something out of this. Now, unfortunately, with Hellforge, you do not get any Valor points out of it, but I can go through and get it to where I can start getting some armor. So I'm going to do a little bit. All right, so I think, therefore I probably do, I do have a... Oh, no, not teleport. Dumb butt. Open portal. I do have some portals. And I don't know how long it's going to last, so this should be funny. This portal doesn't say how long it's going to last. Whatever. All right, we're going to click on our big dummy right here, and we're going to attack him. Oh yeah, I got to make sure I put myself in the right mode. So I am in Great Martial mode. That's good. I have it where I have Shield of Peace, Valor points. Doesn't really matter because I can't get anything out of that. And March Speed, I'm going to add that just because of the fact that I don't want you guys sitting here watching me march. It'll speed me up. VIP is activated, so I get a little bit of bonus off of that. Premium is activated, and my stuff for this one, it all is active. And all these are active, so I'm good there. All right, so all my bonuses are good. Let's go through an attack now. I am not going to send my mercs because of the fact that no matter what, whenever you fight a big, huge dude or whatever, like an epic, you're automatically going to die. So if I'm going to have mercs and everything, I'm going to use them for something that actually does thoroughly matter. So I'm going to send basically my guardsmen. They're all going to die. However, they're going to get me some stuff out of it. So 1800, let's go through and add some of these guys. 500, 500. Let's get the number down. So I want... All right, so we're going to do a 2-to-1 ratio. Basically, for every single one guy, we're going to do, and you can go through and actually input a number. So I'm going to do 1,000. So 2 spearmen to every single rider. And we're going to try and see if we can equal that out to 500. I don't know what the limit is. 450 is my max. That's fine. We're going to bring some rifle guys along, but they're all going to die. And we need to determine what... We're going to use Cleopatra. I want to level her up. I think I'm still going to gain experience out of this and everything. To be honest with you, don't know. Oh, hopefully. And let's start this march. Let's light this turd candle. You have selected too many troops. Oh, yeah. Forgot. Because of the fact that Cleopatra is so small and everything, I can't really take very much with me. So 250 troops is my maximum. I'm going to take whatever I can. All right, let's see what we can do with this. Probably it's going to result in Cleopatra jumping up a few levels. 1 minute in order to get there. Let's speed that up. I'm not going to gain valor points out of this, but I think I might get experience. Don't know. No experience either. Let's revive. Okay. How many points did I get from that attack? Oh, that's charming. I got 0 points from that attack. Yeah, basically, like, this is a bad idea. But the good part is, though, I did earn some type of fragments. Oh, never mind. I earned 0 fragments as a part of that. Never mind. I am not going to be doing Hellforge right now. Sorry. Once I get a little bit more powerful in the game, then Hellforge will become a possibility. I also need probably stronger mercs in order to be able to do this, but yeah, this is a waste of time. So if you're following along and everything like that, do not do Hellforge. Sorry, guys. It's been a while since I've been in T1, so yeah, this is stupid. Oh well. Another day, another dollar. But yeah, these people... Oh, they're at 62 already. Nice. All right, guys. So now at this point, just hit the crypts. Have it to where you're also going through and hitting some of these common monsters in order to get your hero or your captains up. And basically do a little bit of the grunt work and everything. We're going to have it to where the next time you'll see me, I will be going after Arachne. I'm hoping that it goes better than this. I have a theory that I'm going to have to be doing a lot of mercs in order to be doing any bit of damage. So yeah, this could be a very, very painful lesson. We'll see how we do. But you guys have a good day. Hopefully you got something out of this video. And other than that, that is all for now. Bye.